Hi guys, Scotty B the Red here, hope you're all doing well. So this is just a bit of an introduction to my latest series, which will be faction previews. Now I know there's a lot of faction previews out there, but I'll be doing them post the 1.7 patch. So there's been, obviously since the patch, there's been a few things which have changed. So a lot of the game mechanics and faction mechanics, and obviously units and buildings have been buffed and debuffed. So that's obviously changes the game a little bit. So I'll be giving a bit of a preview of the factions, and also a bit how I like to play. So a bit of a beginning guide to the faction. So hopefully it will give you a bit of insight and help you make your campaign a more fun one. And if you do like what you see, please leave a like and subscribe. So yeah, so without any further ado, I hope you enjoy the video. Bye-bye.
Embers rise, stark against the night. The tyrant Dong Zhuo wields the flames of destruction. Luoyang burns, chaos ignites, as the power of the eunuchs is crushed. In the pyre, the hand falters. Yet the light of the dynasty still simmers in the hearts of its last descendants. Liu Bay swore an oath with his brothers. They pledged their lives. They will defend the Han. Nobody else can.
Hello guys, and welcome. I'm sure you all noticed from that little intro movie, but today we're going to be looking at Liu Bay. So Liu Bei happens to be my favourite character in the Three Kingdoms era, and 100% my favourite faction is Shu. So just a bit of a brief history of Liu Bei. He grew up very poor. His father died when he was young, and Liu Bei and his mother was both forced to make and sell shoes to earn a living. Now it's believed Liu Bei in his younger life always dreamt of being the Emperor of China, which, to be fair, shouldn't be very surprising, as most young boys probably did. When he grew up of age, it just so happened to be the time of Dongzhi killing the emperor and kidnapping the child emperor. So obviously Huang Xiao rose and he called the warlords into a coalition against Dongzhao. Liu Bei saw this and he was on his way to enlist, and on the way he stopped off in a butcher's and he met Zhang Fei, which is this character here. Zhang Fei was obviously a butcher at the time, and Liu Bei sweet talked him into believing that he was, raising a faction of his own and he was going to fight Dong Zhao. So Zhang Fei followed Liu Bei, and when they was both on the way to go meet Yuan Shao to enlist, they met Guan Yu, who was a very, very good general, a very, very good fighter, but he was actually an outlaw at the time. So he was a wanted man by the police, but I don't think even he realised how good of a fighter he was until a bit later. But again, Liu Bei managed to sweet talk Guan Yu, with Zhang Fei backing Liu Bei's claim up, and there Guan Yu joined. They then raised a very, very small force, managed to get to Yuan Shao, and was then refused entry until I believe it was Cao Cao sort of backed Liu Bei up, and Liu Bei managed to get into the coalition. Okay, so he was believed to be a benevolent leader through his time as he started getting a bit of prestige and gaining a rank in the Chinese empire, let's say. He was very loyal, or believed to be very loyal to the Han. He always wanted to. Well, he made out that he wanted to do well for the Emperor, and a lot of people believe that he was an opportunist, and a story that backs that up is, so because his surname is Liu, he is very distant related to the Emperor, so basically his family had no standing in the world whatsoever, but he was very, very distant related to the Emperor, so eventually the Emperor called him the Imperial Uncle, and that way he managed to get a bit of prestige. So that's a little bit about Liu Bei. So he's a virtuous idealist, which is about right. His playstyle focus on this game is companionship, which plays quite well into the romance, because these three was sworn brothers. They swore an oath under a peach tree to die on the very same day. So, in this game they call it Oath Sworn, but they was sworn brothers. So, yeah, he says his starting situation is normal. I would say easy, if you know how to use him. He begins with two of the best generals in the game, as well as himself. He's got just perfect traits for his faction, and so basically, if you use him right, you'll probably have a very easy campaign, but a fun one at that. So I wouldn't say it's normal. He is a recommended character, obviously. So let's have a look at his faction resource. It's Unity. So Unity, it increases your prestige. It unlocks administrative positions and increases your income. Unity is increased if generals are satisfied, and satisfaction can be managed with a unique assignment. So he's got a unique assignment to his faction where you basically spend Unity to get satisfaction on that one character. It's something I don't like to do because it costs a lot of Unity. I do like to use. I utilise the Unity a little bit in annexing towns, but mainly I like to use it for the income and as well as the administration position, and it also gives you prestige as well. So his unique units are the Yi Archers, Yi Marksmen. So Yi Archers are basically just an upgraded version of Militia Archers, and Yi Marksmen are an upgraded version of Archers. Or in fact, Yi Archers could be an upgraded version of Archers, and Yi Marksmen are just an improved version again. So a bit more armour, a bit more ammunition and faster firing rate and all that kind of stuff. Decent units, not the best. You can do a job with them though. They have been nerfed in this patch, but they are good in melee. Obviously you don't want to get charged by cavalry, that goes without saying on any archer unit. So yeah, you can flank them around the sides as long as you give them a bit of protection, get some good rear shots out of them, and deal a lot of damage, and they can handle themselves in melee. So their unique building is the Shuhan Tax Collection, one of my favourite buildings in the game. It's basically just an improved version of the tax collection. So you get peasantry income, but on this you get militia replenishment, and you also do not get the public order hit. So very good if means that you can make peasantry your main source of income, and believe me, I've got a playthrough as Liu Bei, and peasantry becomes a massive income with him. So you can also confederate with factions from the start of the campaign. I mean, I've tried hard, and I mean damn hard, and I've never been able to do it diplomatically. I have seen you can do it if you basically keep trading and give them money per turn, and keep doing that until they like you. But I've never tried it, to be honest, and it's not something I'd like to do. It's a little bit cheesy. I try to keep it low cheese. And you can also annex and integrate Han Empire settlements. So one more thing about this Unify, the game, you get an early dilemma where you can confederate a faction. So that might be why they put this in here. So is two generals, which we spoke about a little bit, is Guan Yu and Zhang Fi, both two very good officers. Guan Yu is a champion and potentially one of the best duelists in the game. Zhang Fi is a vanguard who is very good. Obviously, they get low morale as being a vanguard, but still, nonetheless, he's a very, very good character, very strong character. So Liu Bei himself is humble, which gives him a +10. It's basically a bit of a throwaway trait, but it does play into his character and the romance. So you get some decent stats, but then obviously the no desire for higher office, the satisfaction, and the decreased ambition to gain independence and administrator doesn't count because he's a faction leader. He's fraternal, again another bit of a throwaway, but again plays well into himself. So he's got -50% desire for higher office again, +8 resolve. But Zhang Fi and Guan Yu both have fraternal as well, so it makes them very, very close. He's also kind, which is very important because you get some decent stats with it, but he also gets a +5 satisfaction faction wide. So, as I was saying, unity, and we'll speak about it a little bit more, but basically unity is increased through satisfaction of your generals, and also you can gain it at the end of a battle. So because he's a virtuous idealist, he has got 100 faction support, which is decent. It means that you won't have a public order hit, straight after taking a settlement. He's got a -50% upkeep for militia infantry, which is very, very good at the start of the game. Really, really good. You can just spam really cheap armies, especially in the late game, So he also gets a +3 starting rank for militia recruits, which is absolutely awesome. Plus, with him being a commander and the faction leader, he can get another +1. So that makes him a really strong faction leader. So, okay, we'll jump into the actual map then. We'll have a look at him from there. So, see you in a minute, guys.
Luoyang lies in ruin, my lord.
This tyranny is barbaric. What of the people?
Dong Zhuo has fled west to Chang'an, with the young Emperor Xian his captive.
He holds my nephew at sword point.
The coalition delays and wastes time. You are poised, ready to strike now.
But yellow turbans and bandits still persist. There must be justice. The people deserve peace.
Your sworn brothers are ready to fight. Their oaths were bound long ago. Dong Zhuo's treason must face justice. We are arrows on the wind, my lord. We fly wherever you command.
Right, so now we're going to have a look at Liu Bei from the map perspective. So we'll ignore that just for a second. So Liu Bei starts in the Dong Commandery, just south of the Yellow River. We rotate that. So this is the Yellow River here. So he's starting in Yellow Turban lands. So he's got Huang Xiao to the northwest, or to the west. As well, Huang Xiao has his main army here in Taishan. So, basically, we start off, we can see Tao Chan. He is a dear friend, as you can see, or as you would have been told there on the intro little video, or cutscene. So, basically, he starts with no land, which is probably why he's on a normal difficulty. Another thing about Liu Bei's faction is he starts with only one army, which I think most others can start with 3. So that also can make it tricky if you don't know how to use him. So that's basically the factions that we can see. We can see the Han Empire here, but I'll get into a little bit about how I would start this campaign in a second. First of all, let's have a closer look at Liu Bei. So we've gone through his stats. So basically he has a unique weapon and a unique armor. The unique weapon gives him some decent stats. It's got decent melee damage, but not so good armor piercing. It's definitely not the best dual sword in the game, but it does give him a good authority boost, which of course helps boost satisfaction, which is what we're trying to do to get unity. So Liu Bei's armor again gives him another good authority boost. It also gives him a minus 15% retinue upkeep, which means his retinue is going to be extremely cheap, especially if you're using militia, which to be fair you probably won't be. But it also gets encourage, which is a very, very strong trait to have. So I'll go into a little bit now. I'll tell you how I would boost Liu Bei over the course of the campaign. I would get flexibility for the minus 25% redeployment cost. Now I wouldn't have him commanding an army, so the 5% replenishment is I mean, it's good. If you want him to lead an army, it's very good. But because he doesn't get reach and commanders don't get reach, I wouldn't particularly have him. So then I'd get dignity for the +5 faction support, which again is a bit of a throwaway. I suppose you could get flexibility. So level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. You could get flexibility, meditation for the unbreakable trait, Nature's Ally, which is obviously one of his buffs or perk, whatever you want to call it. Nobility is good, 1 for the range block chance on melee cav, and also for the 1 assignment, which is very, very good. Also encourage, which is it's a throwaway because he's got it anyway. And then understanding, you get +1 starting rank for all recruits, which I've already spoke about, which is a very, very strong trait. Stability, you don't really need. The authority will come in handy for the satisfaction. So let's have a look again. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, yeah, I'd probably come this way still and then potentially fire arrows or maybe the armor piercing, because the way I'd build him up in the future is I would give him a retinue of cavalry, so probably 4 melee cav and 2 shot cav. So while we're talking about the army, I will talk about it here. So as you can see, Liu Bei has a very strong starting army. Again, it's cheap because a lot of it is militia. So Yi Marksman, if you want to have a look, they are the improved version of his unique units. I don't know how he's got them because he's only a level 2, but anyhow, now they are expensive. They cost 217 a turn, which for an archer unit, I mean, it probably doesn't seem expensive, but it is in terms of when archer militia costs 35. So you can literally get seven archer militia for 1 Yi Marksman, and they're decent, but they're not, they're not that good. But you can see they've got 70 charge. Yeah, they got okay melee damage, decent attack rate, armor piercings poor, good melee evasion, decent armor, and okay speed, to be fair. So yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but these can fire while walking, which so they will literally get through arrows as they're walking, which again is very strong. Okay, so now we spoke about his starting army. Again, you see, it's okay. It's not how I'd set it up, but you haven't got a strategist to begin with, so 3 strong generals. They can do a lot of damage.
My lord.
So
you
time to talk about
requested me.
Zhang Fei. He's a drunken brawler. He's got some very good stats there with expertise, resolve, and instinct. Because of that, that's a 60 stat boost. He's got the +1 resilience, minus 50% desire for higher office, which is strong, plus 12% melee damage for all shot cavalry, which is how you want to build Zhang Fei. To be fair, you want him to have shot cavalry and melee cav. He is fiery, so he's got +10 charge speed. That is for him, which you can't see there. He's intimidating, which makes him immune to scaring, which is very good. And he's fraternal as well, so that also gives him a desire, less desire for higher office. So again, you know, a strong character. I probably would have given him a bit more resolve, even a bit more expertise, made him a little bit better at dueling, because he was a strong character. He held back Cao Cao's army allegedly on his own, as the romance tells it, while Liu Bei was retreating. So he basically, the romance tells it is he stood on a bridge, and as Cao Cao's army was, approaching him, he let out an almighty roar, and Cao Cao's army fled. Sorry, I've got a bit of a sore throat. I'm just drinking a cup of tea. Okay. Serpent Spear, very good weapon. It's got very, very good melee damage, and poor armor piercing. So the way Three Kingdoms work is, so if someone's got a 50 armor base, so Zhang Fei here has got 55, but if it was 50, the melee damage is reduced by 50%, so 55 damage, it's reduced by 55%. So someone who's 50, it means that he'd be doing 1.6k of damage per hit, which is okay. It's not so bad. There's worse weapons out there, but there's better weapons as well, to be fair. So expertise and instinct is boosts, and he gets a +25 charge speed, which makes him very fast with fire as well. Yep. So his armor, his 55 armor base, which is decent. It's nothing extraordinary, but it's good. +18 instinct, which is good. Makes his units cheaper to recruit, as well as a better melee damage. So as you can see, his melee damage is 2.6 when here it says it's only 2k, so that's because of the 32%. My throat is dry. And he also gets a +5% melee attack rate. Okay, so that's a little bit about Zhang Fei. Let's have a look at his skills. So what I like to do is get Zhang Fei leading an army, because he's a vanguard. Vanguards are good for leading armies because they have reach and flexibility. So I personally would go down the route of reach, flexibility, passion for the melee damage for shot cavalry, which is okay. Melee damage is not the best for shot cavalry, but it's good. The final rush, fury for the charge bonus, mobility, intensity. So mobility gives him +25% running speed, which is good, and +25 charge speed and intensity, and also mighty knockback, which is very strong, and then blazing roar, which is his unique buff or perk. We'll call them perks, and you start calling them perks. So again, that plays into the part where he stood on the bridge. This final rush, all vanguards got that, haven't they? And then after that, you can go however you want to go. I'd probably get endurance, fatigue, resistance for his own retinue, which is very strong on Cav. So yeah, that's a little bit about Zhang Fei. Guan Yu is the god of war, which is very true, which gives him 80 stat boost, which is incredible. 40 expertise, 25 resolve, 15 instinct. So his stats are just insane. Absolutely insane. He's only 28 as well. So +1 resilience because he's a unit character. -50% desire for higher office, which is good because he's a unit character. Which is good, which will play well in the faction. 15% armor for all spear infantry, which is good, but that's only if he's prime minister or faction heir. And +3 morale when defending. Okay, so he is honourable, which gives him some resolve plus -10% chance of capturing enemy officers, which is okay. Nothing major. You can get a +25 with a strategist. No, with patience, get a +25% chance of catching enemy officers. He's fraternal, which again plays into the facts of the three brothers, and he's intimidating, so he's immune to scaring, which is good. Now, the Green Dragon Crescent Blade, this game does not do it any justice whatsoever. So, it's an iconic weapon, still held in somewhere in China, restored, and just a very iconic weapon of the era. So, that gives a 1.9 melee damage plus 993. So, if somebody has 50% armor, then that gives him 1,950 melee basically per hit, plus his instinct, which is high, which is 22%, which gives him 2.3k. So 2.3k plus 993, sorry. So 1.12, so basically just over 2k of damage, which is strong. It's very strong. And with that, he's got some expertise, instinct, and charge bonus. So a good weapon should be much better. Now Guan Yu's armor, 50 armor base, not quite as good as Zhang Fei's, so nothing special. Again, decent though. Plus 15 resolve, plus 6 instinct, and a 30% range block chance, which, yeah, if he's the only guy on the map, it's okay, but as long as there's other units on the map, then archers won't even try and fire at him. Maybe towers, so decent, it's okay. So as you can see, skill wise, he already has flexibility and reach. He also has mobility, which is less important, and he also has endurance, which is good. Fatigue resistance is good. So because he's got these two, I would make him the commanding general of this army and any army. The way I'd level him up is trust to get the plus 20% from peasantry from ministered commandery, which we'll speak about in a minute. 10% armor for all spear infantry is good. Unstoppable, which is his own unique perk. So it gives plus 20% melee damage, armor piercing, plus 10% melee evasion on himself. That's if he's winning in melee combat, which he will be 9 times out of 10. Consideration for the reinforcement range and encourage, which is strong. Guile, so that'd be 5, 6, 7. I mean, you can go this way. I'd keep him as I'd use him as an administrator to begin with to try and help level him up. But so you couldn't go this way if you want to keep him as an administrator. But I tend to take him out of it and put him as like the Chancellor or maybe Grand Excellency or something. I'll put him in the court a bit later on, just because I like him. No other reason though. Yeah, you can keep him as administrator, and then you might want to go this way. Me personally, I would, from going up here, it's completely up to you. So you can get this as well for the industry, but basically what you're going to lead to is God of War, which is without doubt the best perk on the game. So you get an 38k splash damage, which basically kills anybody in one shot. But you have to be careful with it. Make sure you don't use it on a sentinel or someone with high expertise, because they can dodge it. So basically you want to get Wisdom of the River there. Make sure they've got like the 50% debuff of their melee evasion, and then pop it off, and it's just an instant death for them. So very good general. He also starts with Jian Yong, who he did serve Liu Bei. He was in fact maybe potentially a clerk, you could call him. He was basically a gopher for Liu Bei. He delivered messages, you know, dealt with diplomacy a little bit. He wasn't an advisor, so he's okay. He's a populist, which gives him +5 satisfaction. He's trusting, and he's also reckless. I tend to keep him and try and build him up. I do use him as administrator just because I try to keep it as factual as possible. So if you use him as administrator, you want to get him up to potentially here, or definitely before you pop him in. I mean, you can use the +5 public order, but scholarship and intuition is very good on sentinels. I suppose you could get patience, tenacity of steel, both good traits. He doesn't start with anything unique. So Liu Bei always starts with a merchant, so I would always pop that into Liu Bei straight away for the 10% trading funds. He also starts with a stone pig. So this time it looks like we got some decent stuff. So first of all, let's talk about the mission. So the mission is to engage in Zhang Bo, which, my opinion, so we'll go a little bit into how I play this game. Sorry, before we do that, let's talk about Unity. Unity goes up in groups of 250. So as you can see now, he has 120. So up to 250, it's motivated. 251 to 500 is coordinated. 501 to 750 is harmonious. 751 to 1000 is unity of mind, one mind and purpose. So at motivated, you get absolutely nothing. Coordinated, you get +25% prestige, 1 administrative position and 10% income from all sources, which is good. Harmonious, 75 prestige, 2 administrators and 15% income from all sources, which is very good. And 1 mind and purpose, you get 3 administrative positions, 20% income from all sources, and 125 prestige, which is very, very good. This itself makes him a very, very strong late game. So the administrators are unbelievable. So as I was showing here with Jian Yong, look, 40% from commerce, silk and spies, and 15% from industry in itself. You know, if you get, say, Dong, which has got a market, and also it's got the iron mine, very strong, because you can do this up into a commerce and industry commandery. So that's his first mission. He gets a taste of victory, which is +30 military supplies. Once you've completed that mission, you get the mission to take the iron mine. So I don't do that. Me personally, I head to Dong the city for 2 reasons. For 2 reasons, and it's because he starts with 1 army. So what I like to do is take Dong, and you can take Dong with this army. Huang Xiao is here. So I think once you've defeated Zhang Bo, it will take another 2 turns to get to Dong. So that's... No, actually, it'll take another turn to get to Dong. So that's 2 turns. And then you siege it for a turn, and you build a tower, that's 3 turns. You take Dong, that's 4 turns. And then you... Obviously, on the end of the 4th turn, once you've taken Dong, I recall all my units. I disband everything, apart from potentially the archer militia, but disband everything else. and recall my generals to heal up. Next turn, call one of them in, and then call them in and head to Dong, the copper mine, basically. So I've lost my trail of thought. So yeah, so basically after you've killed Zhang Bo, you get the mission to take Dong, which once you've taken Dong, that gives you what does it give you? I'm a bit stuck here actually. Gaining momentum, which gives you the replenishment, I believe. So basically, once you've taken Dong, you get a mission, and then you start recruiting your army, because you get the next mission after taking the copper mine is to recruit 2 units. So you can recruit 2 units and get the replenishment. Sorry, another thing worth noting, guys, you can, once you've respawned your generals at Dong City, you can literally take the Dong mine with just Liu Bay, Zhang Fei, Guan Yu. Like, if you have the extra archers, even better, because then these will take less damage. But you can literally take it on auto-resolve with just them 3 generals and, well, anything else. But that's what I tend to do, because it's just easier to not deal with the towers that you get in mine settlements. So after that, like I say, you get the mission to recruit 2 units, which is what I do. I'd recruit the 2 units, and then try and strike a trade deal with Tao Chan. You can't strike it until you've taken this mine, but also when you've taken Dong, you have the option to trade with other factions. But definitely do Tao Chan, 100%. So after 5 turns, you'll get your reform. Oh, after 3 turns, you'll get your reform. So that's why it's important to get Dong so early, because you want to go for unit secretaries, which gives you a +1 administrator. So once you've got the city, so you want unit secretaries, which you can't take until you have a small city, which Dong is, and then you want the administrator. So I put Guan Yu as the administrator, helps him level up, but I will move him eventually, because Guan Yu gets the buff to peasantry and not commerce and industry. So yeah, so put him in there, and then raise your army, let it replenishment for a turn or 2. Now Huang Xiao, who is the faction leader of this yellow turban faction here, he fights Kong Rong. So sometimes he gets the upper hand, sometimes Kong Rong gets the upper hand. Normally Kong Rong gets the upper hand, and Huang Xiao ends up back in Tai Shan here. You can beat him very easily. From there you will have Dong Commandery as well as Tai Shan. Now if you get the opportunity to take the trade port, which is here, do it. It is, I think it's yellow turban. It's yellow turban, so small, easy to take. If you get the option, do it. If Kong Rong takes it, tough. And then me personally, I go and annex Dongwu, because I believe that is the next mission. Sorry, I annex Langya. I was wrong. Yeah, go and annex Langya, and then you will get your early dilemma. So, let's talk about the early dilemma. Yeah, pretty good haul this time. The early dilemma is Cao Cao, who is here. He his father dies, and he believes Tao Chan killed his father, so he declares war. Now, you can help Tao Chan, you get the choice. I mean, it's up to you, but try and follow the story, side with Tao Chan, and declare war on Cao Cao. Because, of various reasons, but one is because even if you do that and don't do anything, just sit and chill in your land, maybe, obviously you have the other administrator, so the other administrator gives you another army so you can recruit Jian Yong or any other officers that you get. Hint, hint, you get a very good officer that comes and joins you from Gongsun Zan, which is Zhao Yun, another one of my favourite characters in the game. He's a brilliant sentinel. He joins you 9 times out of 10, so raise him up, come and annex all this land using unity, or you are at war, so you can fight it, it's up to you. Kong Rong doesn't tend to go this way. Kong Rong normally tends to cross the Yellow River and go into Pingyuan. So yeah, so even if you do nothing, just let Tao Chan and Cao Cao battle it out. They normally peace out, and then Tao Chan, I believe he's 68 in this start. He might be 63, but he dies early. And then when he dies, you 9 times out of 10, you confederate his land, which is Donghai, Shapi. So these two, and sometimes he can take Pencheng. That's basically what happens. Cao Cao or Tao Chan both battle it out for Pencheng. If you can take it, brilliant, and I'll explain why in a minute. But one thing to look out for in Tao Chan is his officers. He has a lady called Lady Mi. I'm not sure if it's Tao Chan who's married to him or one of his sons, but she is basically the daughter of Mizu, I think Mizu. Yeah, Mizu. So part of her trait is that she gives plus 10 satisfaction faction wide if she's your heir. So potentially try, if you get her when you annex, sometimes you don't, sometimes she runs off, other times she stays. So if you do get her, marry her to Liu Bay as soon as possible and make her your heir. That is the best start you can get. And then if you get a concubine as well, stick it on her, and that's a plus 20 satisfaction. You'll just boost unity. So basically once you've annexed this land, try and deal with Cao Cao. You can deal with Cao Cao with just one army, but potentially what I like to do is you'll probably end up fighting him here in Pencheng, but if you can set up an ambush when your army's right, so what you can, if you want to use these 3 guys, get you can't do it right now, but get some spear guards, a front line of spear guards, a couple of G militia, get Zhang Fi rocking cavalry, and maybe a couple of archers, Liu Bei rocking archers, and you can easily defeat Cao Cao, and then you've got him on the ropes, and it's bye bye Mr. Cao Cao really. The earlier you knock him out the better, because he's a scheming sod. So yeah, try with the good thing about Liu Bei, because he gets the Pageantry Tax Collection unit, which I'll show you that now because it doesn't really show you, does it? So when it's fully locked out, it's 260 peasantry income plus 15% militia replenishment. That's massive. So that 260%, with the boost that you can get through trying to build your commanderies correctly, boosting peasantry in peasantry commanderies, you can get 200%, and then with your faction council you can get another 200% with an option that you get through the council, and you get for 5 turns. It literally turns that 260 gold into 1,000 gold, more 1,200 gold. So peasantry will probably be your biggest income. So yeah, that's about it. Once you've taken Cao Cao, it should be a pretty straightforward campaign. You do get another story to try and follow where you confederate with Liu Bei. It's hard. I have never been able to do it diplomatically. I've always just had to fight him and conquer him, but you can do it. You can go to war with him, keep beating his armies, but don't take any settlements, don't kill anyone, let them run away, and then eventually he will begin to like you for that, which is strange, and you can peace out and get confederate or vassalage, and then, you know, confederating from there. So yeah, one more thing to mention, you'll get another story where Suyu, so he's a strategist, will join you for free just out of the blue, and then eventually he'll leave saying he wants to go to Cao Cao, but before he leaves he tells you of two very good strategists, so the Sleeping Dragon and the Fledgling Phoenix. So just follow that story and you basically go and visit the Sleeping Dragon 3 times, and then eventually he'll join you. So that is Zhuge Liang, and he is the best strategist in the game, in my opinion, as well as Pantong. So Pantong will join you, Zhuge Liang, and then because you've dealt with Cao Cao, you will probably come back because when he leaves you, he's heartbroken and doesn't have a fondness for Liu Bei. So yeah, going from there, it's pretty straightforward. You'll want to deal with Huang Xiao. The only problem you might have when you've only got 2 armies is sometimes Huang Xiao will declare war on you. Zhao Yun can deal with him while you are dealing with Cao Cao. So just keep Zhao Yun in Dong, and you can quite easily deal with Huang Xiao, and then eventually Huang Xiao peace out, unless you want to go on the offensive. That is up to you. But let's try and think other things that I can add in. So yeah, again, you can't see Kong Rong. I always keep him friendly. Eventually you can unify him. Liu Day is another Liu family member. He starts here. He does, if you don't manage to get Lady Mi, he does have a daughter, Liu Humin, who you can marry. Now it's a little bit incest because they are distant related, but they produce kids. You know, I know it's pretty sick, but that's just how it is. Liu Cheng starts here, and good. You know, good. He's decent. If you can try and capture him, it's very good. Basically, my big goal of every time I play this is to try and take south of the Yellow River, north of the Yangtze River, and try and then potentially trade with Sun Ce. If you don't get Lady Mi, you can marry Sun Ce's daughter. Sorry, Sun Jian's daughter, so Sun Ce's sister. God, I forgot her name. But she's a very good officer to gain. She's a vanguard and she's pretty savage. So yeah. So yeah, basically, once you've got eunuch secretaries, you can go however you want, really. Some people like to get the trade. What I like to get up to level 5 of the unique building, because when you annex Tao Chan, you'll probably level up to Mark A, which then you can get another trade thingy anyway. So right now we only have we only have 1 maximum trade partner. Other things, obviously, I need to point out is that you do start at war with the Yellow Turban Rebellion, you start at war with the Han Empire, Huang Xiao, and Dong Zhao. So I think that is about it, guys. So that's pretty much an early playthrough. if you do want to watch me do this, I do have a Liu Bay playthrough, so you will pretty much watch me do all that on the first turn, on the first episode. So give it a watch. I will put the card up at the end of this episode, which will be now. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that gives you a bit of an insight into Liu Bei, and hope you have a fun campaign playing it. So thank you very much, guys. Please like and subscribe. Bye bye.